last year was the best and the worst year of my life. I learned a terribly hard lesson, but because of it, I can now say that I enjoy every little moment of my life. So, firstly, at first, I thought my life was terrible. The week prior to the worst day of my life had been actually extremely great, but I didn't know it yet. I was so miserable because I thought I had a terrible life. I thought that because my life wasn't perfect. So, I didn't even know what I was talking about. But now I do. The day before the tragedy, I had actually been extremely happy. I was having fun, I had hung out with my friends. That night I came home and my mom was working again, and my dad was watching TV and my grandmother was sleeping, so I didn't spend any time with them. I went straight to bed. The next morning I woke up later than usual, and I was quite bummed about it because, no, to be honest, I was extremely mad. I was supposed to meet a friend that morning, but I woke up too late to do it, so I went to the kitchen to talk to my mom and literally interrogated her about why she didn't wake me up. She was extremely pale and she could barely talk, but she kept insisting that she was fine. I called my dad to see what had happened to her, but he didn't pick up the phone. That was my first red flag. Afterwards, I tried again to figure out what had happened, but my mother wouldn't tell me anything. She told me to go to my room and wait for her there. So that's what I did. She came into the room several minutes afterwards and she told me to sit down. I had the worst feeling in the world. I just felt it. She hugged me and she took my hand, and I will never forget her words. Dad is no longer among us. I couldn't process what she told me. I just stared blankly at a wall, trying to figure out what had happened. I just couldn't accept it. I didn't want to accept it. So that's when I needed to know and ask, is my father dead? My poor mother couldn't even speak. She burst into tears. I tried to say something, but all that came out was a scream. How could this happen to me? We thought he was healthy. We couldn't have seen it coming. I mean, 2 children out of 5 lose their parent before the age of 18. And even though I heard so many stories just like mine, I never thought it would ever happen to me. I went to sleep with a perfectly beautiful, healthy family, and I woke up a semi-orphan. The next few months were horrible. I kept thinking about all our memories together, and I felt so guilty that maybe, just maybe, I hadn't spent enough time with him. I couldn't look at pictures of him. I would fight back tears whenever I saw whenever I saw a father with a little girl, thinking that maybe I could be that too, but I wasn't. And I missed hearing his voice and his jokes. I missed our bike rides and our conversations. It was very tough because the worst part of it all was that I was still waiting for him to come home weeks after it happened. I just couldn't help myself but stand next to that door hoping he would walk right through it. But he never did. And with time I realized that he would never do it again. And so I felt so alone because he was one of my best friends and it felt like being ripped apart. But with time, my wounds started to heal and I even started to appreciate what had happened, viewing it as an experience from which I could learn, and that would eventually help me to grow and be the best I could be. I started to think about our memories, and instead of viewing them as painful, I saw them as the most beautiful thing I've ever had. That leads me to the first lesson that my father taught me, and that is carpe diem. Life is very, very short. We often say we have all the time in the world to do something, when in fact, we don't. Our lives are never truly secure. We don't have the certainty that there will even be a tomorrow. So if you want to do something, simply do it now. We cannot know how much time we have left on earth, so don't waste any. My father taught me to live my life as if my days are being counted, because they are. At the end of the day, everybody will die. That's the harsh truth. But we also have to enjoy every single moment. So, what my father taught me is that every single day is a new lesson. Every single day is something that you can cherish forever. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, because it's better to regret doing something than to wonder forever what would have happened. We use excuses like, I don't have enough time right now, or I'm too busy right now, but actually, that's pretty wrong. It's all about prioritizing. How many books do you have in your library that you haven't finished because you said you'd read them another time? Or how many old friends do you want to talk to, but you never do because you say you're too busy right now? Live in the moment. I know some people say it's just a stupid cliche, that after you go through something like this, you truly realize that cliches exist for a reason. And that leads me to my second lesson. And that is that we have to enjoy every little moment, no matter how bad it may seem. So, if I was given the choice to either have one last fight with my dad, or to just leave the situation, I would always choose to fight. I know it may seem very strange to most people, but I even miss him telling me that I'm not doing enough and that I have to be better. Those words were very harsh at some point in my life, but now they make me a lot stronger, because now I know that he believed that I could do better. He believed in me. We all have bad days when we don't even want to get out of bed, moments in which we just want to give up. Well, it seems so easy to just let everything go, but you know what? We don't. We fight and we struggle to keep our heads above water. Those bad days make us strong. They make us who we are. They give us the courage to go on. So I once saw this quote that I will forever hold dear. If you want the rainbow, you have to go through the rain first. Basically, hope is the most important of feelings, because hope is what keeps us going. It gives us a reason to fight. It gives us a reason to live. My father taught me that even in the darkest of places, there will always be a spark of hope that I can use to set my whole world on fire. And with this fire, there will also be light. Light that will bring a new beginning to my life. You see, this is exactly how we will go on as humanity. Well, I would also like to say that darkness is temporary. Everybody should know that. Well, you cannot wake up to a new day without going through the night first. So our world is based on a cycle. So many people are pessimists, thinking that they are unfortunate because their life isn't how they imagined. I used to be like that too. I kept whining about the weather, but we can't control the weather, can we? I mean, why are we whining about things that we cannot control? It's as if we are wired to find any possible reason to say we're unhappy. I used to say that I was depressed because my life wasn't perfect. I used to say that I was cursed even. And why? All because I got one bad grade on math test. So what I'm trying to say here is that maybe we should start looking to our lives from another point of view, because we cannot be happy if we only see the negative parts of it. I hear people constantly saying things like, oh, I wish my life was different, then I'd probably be a lot more happy. But that's how we choose to be unhappy. We choose to only see the bad. You can't go through life constantly telling yourself that you are miserable and expect to one day wake up and be glowing with joy. So, this is the key to true happiness. We have to accept ourselves. We have to understand ourselves, and then we have to use whatever we learn. This is how we'll actually find happiness, and we will leave all the misery behind, because we are not truly miserable. Thank you.